days out. I mean, how do you see this whole thing?
Well, I can tell you where I see it. I believe Donald Trump's winning. I believe, Alex, it's time now for us to tell people exactly what to do to fight voter fraud. And what they're going to do, Alex, is we've talked about them bringing in. I'm trying to get in the center of the shot. I'm sorry. What they're trying to do is they'll be bringing in vans, which, I told you about over a year ago. Well, now you've got the tape where they're actually saying they're doing it. Well, there's another thing that we've all got to do. Number one, when you go cast your vote, here's what you better do. If it's a touch screen computer, make sure that that precinct shows you a recorded, a printed proof of how your vote was recorded. Now I've already gotten several responses, Alex, where one lady in Georgia voted for straight line Republican. When she saw proof of what she voted for, she had voted for Clinton, and it took her 4 or 5 times to get them to rerun it before it ever showed voting for Trump. So what you've got to do is you've got to make the people at the precinct prove your vote was recorded properly. Now, if they can't show you proof, then demand a paper ballot. Demand it. They're supposed to have paper ballots. But if they don't, find out where you've got to go to get a paper ballot. Because, Alex, when you're on these computers, I heard you earlier say that Soros owns the voting equipment that's used in 16 states. He does. But what people don't realize is he owns the majority of several other voting machine companies, but he owns them.
No, I knew that. I mean that's come out in the last 10 years. And so, bottom line, Hillary's got to be really upset, though, that Trump isn't just going quietly into the night. He's openly exposing all that. How does that upset her apple cart?
Alex, she's going to lose, and she knows it, unless she can amass and pull off the biggest amount of voter fraud in the history of this country. Now,
I agree. Aren't preliminaries, as we're getting from early voting, showing landslide for Trump?
Well, yeah, and I don't know that it'll be a landslide, but I can tell you this. Hillary's defeated, and she knows it, so they've got to cheat. Now, to back that up, so you don't think I'm just making this up, the DNC filed a lawsuit to try to force the removal of poll watchers at the polls. Now, why would they do that if they know there's no cheating going on? Why would they fight the, photo ID to vote? Why do that if they don't plan to have massive voter fraud? Look, I say this to your audience, Alex, please. This is your vote. You got one. You've got one. You got to protect it. If you allow your vote to be changed, then we've lost. We've lost all.
No, I agree. We expose it. We show the fraud. We have millions of people reported if it happens. It's game over just from perception.
Now, I've looked at the internals, as I know you have, of several polls. Here's what they're doing. They're trying right now, Alex, to make everybody believe this election is over. For the next 11 days, it's going to be the media, mainstream media, and Hillary's job in her campaign to make people believe this election
they say
is over.
From CNN to MSNBC to the New York Times, she's already measuring the new drapes. They say she's in.
It's done. Well, let me tell you why that is. Hillary's already got every vote she's going to get, Alex, and they know it. They know there's nothing they can do to increase that. So they've got one move left, and that's to convince people that are going to vote for Trump, you might as well stay home, mow your yard, go to a movie, do something worthwhile, because the race is over. Don't waste your time. Folks, do not believe it. When I looked at the internals last week of a poll, that was an a Wall Street Journal NBC poll. Now, Fox News reported it as the gold standard of polls. When you looked into the internals of that poll, Alex, here's what you find. 60% of the people interviewed, or 60% of the respondents, were Democrats.
Stay there. Let's go to the rest of it. Oh, that's in WikiLeaks. They're oversampling across the board like we're the biggest idiots in the world. It's like starting a football game and giving the other team 50